In this video, we're diving into a powerful inner transformation, one that can gently release you from the draining cycle of craving and constant yearning. I'll guide you through a simple yet profound shift in perspective that can create lasting emotional stability and help you reconnect with your own inner peace. Let's unpack the deeper reasons behind our tendency to pursue others, whether it's their attention, affection, or reassurance. If you've ever found yourself going out of your way to feel seen, heard, or valued, you're not alone. Today, we'll begin to understand where that pattern originates and why it keeps repeating. These emotional patterns rarely begin in adulthood. More often, they're reflections of old imprints from our earliest experiences. Many of us were conditioned to believe that love had to be deserved, that it came with expectations, rules, or uncertainty. As adults, we unknowingly carry those childhood beliefs into our relationships, seeking in others what was once withheld from us. When we approach love with desperation, it sends out an unspoken message of lack. That invisible neediness, no matter how subtle, can create energetic resistance. It's as if the more we chase, the more we repel. Without realizing it, the very intensity of our longing may be what pushes people away. Maybe you've lived through this. You felt a real connection with someone, but once your desire for closeness became tied to your sense of worth, something shifted. The emotional weight of needing to feel loved or validated may have created pressure, causing distance when all you really wanted was connection. At its core, emotional dependency is the belief that your happiness resides in someone else's hands. It's the feeling that without their love, something essential will always be missing in you. But when that love isn't returned as you'd hoped, it can leave you feeling small, rejected, and deeply exhausted. This emotional roller coaster repeats because it's built on a fundamental misunderstanding that peace and love must be found outside of us. Most of us inherited this belief before we even had the words to question it. But the truth is, what you've been seeking out there has always lived within you. From the very start of our lives, we learn that our survival depends on others. As infants, we rely entirely on the people around us, not just for physical care, but for the emotional warmth that tells us we're safe and seen. Picture yourself as that little child again. On some days, you're wrapped in affection, smiles, cuddles, laughter. The world feels warm, open, and full of love. But then, suddenly, the light fades. The warmth disappears. A wall seems to go up. Those same familiar eyes now look past you. And no matter how you try to reconnect, you're met with coldness or silence. These early experiences etch themselves deep into the nervous system. Confusion sets in. A quiet voice inside begins to wonder, did I do something wrong? Why don't they see me anymore? And even though the child doesn't fully understand what's happening, the emotional withdrawal feels as scary as physical danger. In an attempt to stay safe, the child adapts. They think, maybe if I behave differently, if I'm more helpful, more quiet, more perfect, they'll come back. This coping strategy soon becomes a part of who they think they are. The idea takes root. There must be something wrong with me. And so begins a lifelong search, chasing love, acceptance, and safety in the eyes of others. Without realizing it, this inner narrative carries over into adulthood. It silently influences the way we love, the relationships we choose, and even how we view ourselves. And unless we pause to explore this emotional blueprint or intentionally begin to heal, it keeps running the show in the background. For many who walk a path of self-discovery or spiritual awakening, this buried wound eventually comes to the surface. And when it does, it can create a sense of fragmentation, not just in the heart, but in the body. Often, people become disconnected from themselves, especially from the lower energy centers that govern stability and self-trust. This is why grounding becomes so important. The root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras hold the keys to feeling safe in your own skin. They're the energetic foundation for confidence, belonging, and emotional strength. Without this foundation, we stay stuck in survival mode, always bracing, always searching. People who've experienced early emotional turbulence tend to be highly sensitive. They pick up on the tiniest emotional shifts in others. Their intuition is sharp, their empathy deep, but it comes at a cost. They may lose touch with their own energy while absorbing everyone else's, unsure where they end and others begin. Why do we stay trapped in this loop? Because what's familiar often feels safer than what's new. The mind clings to the emotional patterns it knows, even the painful ones. And so we continue the cycle, constantly seeking reassurance, chasing approval, and defining our worth by how others respond to us. When someone finally feels the emotional safety they've been longing for, whether through the embrace of a true friend, the support of a loving partner, or the wisdom of a guiding mentor, it often feels like their soul can finally breathe. A stillness arises, a gentle sense of being seen, held, and accepted begins to grow. And sometimes, this feeling becomes so rooted that they begin offering that same sense of safety to others, radiating peace without even trying. But stepping into full emotional sovereignty, standing in your own truth, your own energy, can be disorienting at first. It's like walking into a wide, open space with no map, no one to follow, just your own footsteps. That's why this video exists. It's a soft invitation to explore those unspoken fears, not with force, but with kindness. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about remembering who you are. Through steady presence, compassionate practice, and patience, you'll begin to meet the parts of yourself that have been waiting to be acknowledged. Emotional dependency often grows in the absence of a solid inner foundation. When you're unsure of who you are or what truly matters to you, it's easy to search for direction in someone else's eyes. You begin to shape yourself according to their feedback, believing that if they're pleased, then you must be okay. Over time, your energy turns outward. You begin to overextend, overgive, and overexplain, hoping it will be enough. Maybe if I love more, sacrifice more, give more of myself, they'll love me back. But hidden behind that hope is often a trembling fear. The fear of not being worthy, the fear of being left, the fear that without someone else, you don't know how to fully be yourself. That fear doesn't just appear. It's often rooted in old stories. Perhaps it mirrors moments in your childhood when love was distant, unreliable, or confusing. What starts as a fear of losing others often morphs into something even deeper, losing yourself. This is the quiet wound I want to bring into the light. Every time you dismiss your needs, ignore your truth, or shapeshift into who you think you should be to feel loved. You drift further from your core. That's what self-abandonment looks like. Not loud or obvious, but slow and silent. It's the quiet erosion of your identity in the name of being chosen by someone else. But there's no need to continue down that road. There is a gentler, more empowered path, and that's what I want to guide you toward today. The meditation we'll begin together is intentionally simple. It's not about doing it perfectly. The true power lies in showing up, in choosing to sit with yourself, even when you feel scattered or unsure, even when part of you doubts whether it's worth it. With time, a soft transformation begins. You feel more rooted, more at peace. You stop looking outward for completion because something inside you has begun to awaken. And from that quiet place, you start to remember you've never been broken. The safety you've been seeking has always been waiting for you to return. Here's my sincere promise to you. If you simply stay consistent with this practice, even if it's just a few still moments a day, it can quietly revolutionize your inner world. What might seem like a small act at first has the potential to become the very soil where a new, stronger relationship with yourself begins to take root. Because beneath emotional dependency lies more than just insecurity. It's the absence of grounding within your own being. It's the sensation of drifting, of not feeling anchored inside yourself, of not knowing where you end and someone else begins. And in that blur, we lose the clarity and stability we deeply crave. To loosen the tight grip of emotional need, we must begin by reclaiming our inner space. That starts with setting boundaries, not as harsh barriers, but as compassionate definitions of where your energy resides. Boundaries that affirm who you are, that give shape to your truth, and protect the sacredness of your emotional field. When you begin to reestablish those inner edges, you might notice just how much of your peace has been outsourced, traded away in the endless pursuit of love, recognition, or meaning outside of yourself. Yes, spiritual teachings often speak of oneness, that we're all connected, and that the idea of separation is an illusion. And while that's beautifully true, there's another truth that also deserves honoring. You're not meant to disappear in your spiritual journey. When we become too entangled in the concept of unity, we may forget the sacredness of our individuality. We begin to dull our desires, question our needs, and disconnect from the very heartbeat that makes us feel real. And if you're someone who feels everything deeply, if you're naturally empathic, always tuning in to others' pain and trying to hold space for everyone, you might recognize how your greatest gift can also become your greatest vulnerability. The deeper your sensitivity, the easier it becomes to lose yourself in someone else's world. And in spiritual circles, this is even more tricky. The call to dissolve the ego can, if misinterpreted, lead to a quiet erasure of the self. But real healing asks more of you. It doesn't ask you to vanish. It asks you to return, to come back home to your center, to embody your energy, your voice, your presence, not with force, but with quiet confidence, to know where you stand, to own your space in this world with grace, without apology, without guilt, and without shrinking. At a certain point on the path inward, many people encounter what feels like a complete breakdown, a crumbling of beliefs, stories, and identities they once held as absolute truth. And while it may seem like everything is falling apart, it's actually a sacred threshold, a profound moment of awakening. Because in our search for oneness, harmony, and spiritual unity, we sometimes bypass a critical truth. Boundaries are not a denial of connection. They are an expression of reverence. Yes, we are deeply interconnected. We exist within the same living field of energy, continuously shaped by the presence of others. Our emotions ripple out, our thoughts intertwine, and our spirits meet. But even within this infinite web of connection, we are not meant to lose ourselves in the collective. We are not here to vanish into the whole. We are here to shine as individual expressions of the divine, whole, sovereign, unmistakably ourselves. When we forget that, we lose our anchor. And in that disconnection, confusion sets in. The soul feels scattered, the emotions become unsteady, and the body grows weary. But here's the beautiful part. The return to balance isn't complicated. You don't need 1,000 tools or elaborate rituals. Often, the most healing moments come from the simplest of practices. One such practice comes from the Zen tradition, Zazen. It's a gentle reminder that duality and unity coexist, that sound and silence, self and other, light and shadow, each have their place in the great unfolding. To begin, you only need a quiet space and a single candle. Light the flame and find a comfortable seat. Let go of any urge to silence your thoughts. Let the stillness arrive naturally, like dusk settling over a quiet field. No need to watch the flame too intently. No need to measure time. Just allow yourself to be. Gently rest your awareness on the soft dance of the candlelight. Notice its rhythm, its gentle sway, the way it flickers and breathes with the air around it. Simply observe, without needing it to mean anything. Then, slowly inhale. Let the breath move into your body like a kind visitor. Exhale, releasing whatever feels heavy or outdated. As you breathe, become aware of the space between you and the flame. That space is more than emptiness. It is sacred. It's the quiet reminder that your presence is real, that your being holds weight, that your energy has its own rightful place. In that silent space between you and the light, you begin to remember your worth doesn't need validation. Your identity doesn't need permission. It has always lived within you, patiently waiting for you to return. As you rest in stillness, gently observing the soft, rhythmic movement of the flame, allow yourself to notice something subtle yet profound, the space between you and the light. You're not merging with it. You're not becoming it. You are witnessing it. from a place of calm, rooted awareness. And that space between you isn't disconnection, it's sacred clarity. It's the return to your own energetic home. This is the essence of the practice, coming back to yourself, reclaiming your inner world, calling your life force back from all the places it's been scattered, from the people you tried to please, the roles you felt you had to play, and the beliefs that told you your worth depended on someone else's gaze. With each inhale, invite your energy back into your body. With each exhale, gently let go of the layers that were never truly yours to carry. The masks, the labels, the expectations, they can soften now. And as they fall away, what remains is real. What remains is you. This is where true power lives, not in control, not in perfection, but in presence. In the simple, grounded awareness of your own existence. In the quiet strength of knowing you are enough, without proving, without performing, without reaching for anyone else's light. This is the space we're cultivating, a deep, embodied sense of self, a quiet knowing that you are already whole. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you fully return to this inner wholeness, the need to chase love, connection, or validation begins to dissolve. Because you realize the connection you've been searching for was never lost. It was simply waiting for you right here within. Thank you for sharing this quiet, intentional space with me today. If something in this practice gently touched your heart or stirred something within you, I warmly encourage you to explore the other offerings on this channel. Each video is lovingly created to support you on your journey back to your center, back to the truth of who you are. And please carry this with you. Your presence is meaningful. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are deeply felt, deeply valued. And I'm so grateful that you've chosen to be here, just as you are, in this very moment.